So, welcome back to the front porch. Yeah, I know it's still at the front porch. But hey, get over it. So, we got our beer, pull up a chair. Let's dig up this rabbit hole with a backhoe right now. Because this is one that I myself am kind of affected by. So, we're digging into the strangest thing that's been on the internet, or the thing that's been on the internet. Something that's made millions of people stop mid conversation and say, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it. The Mandela Effect. So, how many of you remember uh, on Fruit of the Loom, the tag? Did it have a cornucopia and then all the fruit, or was it just fruit? Fruit Loops. Was fruit spelled UI or with two O's? Was there ever such thing called Jiffy peanut butter? Um, let's see. What's some of the other ones? Oh, Flintstones. Was there a T in Flintstones or not? Those are some of the things that have been a part of the Mandela effect. So, what is the Mandela effect? Well, let's look it up here. The name comes from former South African President Nelson Mandela. For years, a surprising number of people believe Mandela died in prison back in the 80s. And some people remember news coverage and memorials. But that didn't happen. Mandela was released from prison in 90 and later became president of South Africa. So the question became, how could so many people remember the same thing incorrectly? And that question opened the door, to the rabbit hole and still has people debating today. But before we go deeper into this mystery, let me ask you something. Do you remember hitting the like button on this video? Because here's the weird part. Some people clearly remember liking this channel, subscribing, and ringing that notification bell. But when you check their phone, somehow it hasn't happened. Now, I'm not saying that's Mandela effect, but I'm also not saying it isn't. So just in case reality shifted again, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and subscribe to the Front Porch Truth. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next mystery that we dig into. Okay, back to the strange stuff. One of the most famous examples of Mandela effect involves the movie Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Ask almost anyone what Darth Vader says during the big reveal scene, and they'll say the same thing. Luke, I am your father. It's one of the most quoted lines in the movie history, except that's not what he actually says. Well, what did he say? If you watch the scene again, the line spoken by Darth Vader is, No, I am your father. The words Luke was never in the original line, yet millions of people swear that's how they remember it. So how does that happen? Yeah? Some researchers say that it's simply how human memory works. Our brains are amazing and they're not perfect recording devices. Bullshit. Over time, memories get simplified. They get reshaped by conversations, pop culture, repetition. When people quote a line incorrectly for decades, eventually that version becomes the one most people remember. But that's just the beginning. Another famous example involves the children book series. For years, people believed it was spelled Berenstein, Stein. But when they go back and look at the books, the spelling is actually Berenstein, Stain, bears, with an A instead of an E. Now, maybe that seems small. We're going to stop right here. I have those books. I had them as a child. I still have them. And for anyone that's curious, it is with an E on those books. Those books would have been back from late 70s. So you tell me if there hasn't been a time shift. And we'll continue. But if you grew up reading those books, it can feel oddly unsettling to see the spelling change. Some people say they remember the original spelling very clearly, which leads me to my next theory. What if Mandela Effect isn't just bad memory? Some people believe it could be evidence of alternate timeline. The idea is that reality might not be a single straight path. Instead, it could be more like branches of possibilities. If timelines somehow crossed or shifted, maybe tiny details from one version of reality carried into another. Sounds more like science fiction. But ideas like parallel universes have actually been explored by physicists for years. Another theory ties to Mandela effect is simulation ideas, the concept that reality itself could be a complex simulation. And now we're going back to the Matrix. Something similar to the world depicted in the film The Matrix. If reality were simulated, some people wonder if the Mandela effect could be glitches, small inconsistencies in the system, like when a computer game updates and something changes unexpectedly. Well, now to be clear, there's no scientific evidence proving that explanation, but it shows just how far this mystery has stretched people's imagination. Now we're going to stop right here again. If you've heard anything about I believe it's called the Hadron Collider over in the UK, do some research into it. Dig down that rabbit hole and look back when they were trying to find the God particle, and then start looking at the different things that have changed since then and just how many timelines could have been affected. And we continue. There's dozens of examples to debate on. The Monopoly Man. Many people remember him wearing a monocle. I do. But the official character today, no monocle. Surprise. Then there's the famous cartoon mouse. People often remember Mickey Mouse having suspenders, but the official design of Mickey Mouse, there have never been suspenders. If you remember Steamboat Willie, when he's shutting down, he's turning the wheel. He stands there and he pulls on the suspenders while he's whistling, and then he goes back to steering. So yeah, tell me it ain't there. Anywho, just shorts and buttons. So why do so many people remember these details differently? Psychologists say that the brains are constantly filling in gaps. When memories fade over time, the brain sometimes fills in missing gaps with things they feel familiar. If even enough people do it the same way, a shared false memory can form. But for some people, that explanation doesn't fully satisfy the mystery. They believe something stranger might be happening. Maybe reality is more flexible than we think. Maybe our memories sometimes carry echoes of things that used to be or things that almost was. Or maybe a human memory is just a lot less reliable than we'd like to believe. Either way, the Mandela effect has become one of the internet's most fascinating debates because it forces us to question, something we usually take for granted, our own memories. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a Mandela effect moment? Something you were absolutely sure you remembered, only to discover it was different. Please drop in the comments. I would love to hear them. Love to, get a chat going with all you guys and find out. Let's Let's go down the rabbit hole together. Let's open this thing up, drive a Mack truck through it. Because half the fun of this topic is seeing just how many strange examples people can come up with. And if you enjoy exploring mysteries like this, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the front porch, and ring that notification bell. Because the next time we might be diving into another question that makes you stop and think, wait, is that really how that happened? Until then, keep asking questions. Oh, yeah, and it was Shazam, not Kazam. Sinbad did do that movie. I watched it. I'll see you in the next one.